Every player comes to you, I find now, in going through the communication we've heard this morning about the trust and the players wanting to have all the answers and they want everything right now. I believe that all to be true. And I believe the way you can take some of those fears and some of that uncertainty out of their disposition is to help them understand this one simple rule. You're going to have a bad shift, and you're going to have a bad period, and you're going to have a bad game. You might have 2 of them, but it's my job, my responsibility to make sure you don't have 3 in a row. So that kind of becomes I think the contract, or the invested contract, that I try and get instilled in our players. Funny story, last year we have a kid named Ekman Larsson, who in my book is one of the top 5 young players in the NHL at any position. And a kid named Connor Murphy, young player, high draft pick by the Coyotes. And as they're coming along in their careers, Ekman came to me about January, and he said, I said, how's it going? You know, how's it with your line mate, your teammates? How's everything going? Good, good, good. And he said, I think I'd like to play with Murph. And I'm like, really? All right, that's where the game has changed, because I don't think we'd ever go to a coach when we played and say, I want to play with this guy or that guy. But that's today's players, that's the expectations, and I think you got to, when you do make adjustments in your coaching style, it's to recognize what players are, where they're coming from today. So I said, all right, he said, tell me why. He says, I think we're both young. I think we can both play against top players in the NHL, and I think we can do it together for 10 years. So right away, you're getting buy-in to our organization getting better. You're getting 2 young guys that have obviously talked about it and feel it's important. So I go back in the office, I sit down with Dave Tippin, I said, here's the conversation I had. This is what he's thinking. This is what we want to do. What's your thoughts? He goes, that's cool. Let's do it. So the first game, they are horrible. They are brutal. It couldn't be any worse. If the game went longer, that's the only way they could have been any worse that night. Come back and play another game, worse than the first game. So back-to-back bad games. So I cut the videotape and I get it all cleaned up, and we have a video room, and like 25 seats in this video room. It's right across the hallway from the dressing room. So the players are all milling around the dressing room. So I opened the door and I said, Murph, EL, I got some cartoons for you. Let's go. So the guys start laughing, because nobody wants to go watch cartoons with a coach ever. So across the hallway we go, sit on the video room. I shut the lights off. I said, listen, it would be physically impossible for you 2 guys to play that bad one more game. There's no way you could play worse, right? And they're like, they're kind of waiting for their punishment. I said, you guys figure it out. We'll talk tomorrow. I walked out of the video room. They sat together. They visited for a little while. They figured out whatever they had to figure out. And from then on, they took off and become a real dynamic pair. And I waited till they played a good game. Then I brought them back in and showed the videotape. So I think that's what's changed about the game, is that the investment with the player, once they know you're trying to do the right thing with them and for them, I think they buy in a lot easier. So